Hello everyone. Today we're gonna talk about some useful functions or flow control in Matlab when you do programming. So we start by doing the for loop. So I I open this one just so that I can copy and paste, but it's not needed. I'm basically just using this editor as a almost like a load pad so that I can changing it. Basically, you can see to do a for loop, which means you need to have the program to do something again and again. You do something like this. Say if we want to construct a matrix, so that each of the elements is kind of something special. So you do for anything, but I typically like to use I equals to let's say to a 5 by 5 matrix. 1, 2, 5. I mean, you could use just I, but I is actually used in Matlab to represent imaginary number. You can use I or J, but I like to use I and JJ just because just by doing that, I know it's like the counter in my for loop. So to a matrix, you need to actually do a for loop inside the for loop. So for JJ equals to 1, 2, 5. So now, since most of you have been taking programming, so you must know loops. I will not explain how it works, but if you don't know, just fire me an email, set up an appointment. I'll be more than happy to walk you through. So basically, if we want to say, okay, I want a matrix called K, whose II and JJ element is II times JJ. Then you want to silence it, otherwise it will kind of keep showing it for 25 times. Then you end it, then you end. Okay, then we can just copy it and see how it goes. Ctrl C, Ctrl V. Okay, now we got our K. See? Yeah, you can see apparently it worked. So now you see, okay, yeah, we do want to do something kind of special. So it's inside we don't want this thing to be that simple. We see we only do this when II is greater than J. So you can just add if II is greater or equals to J, J. Then you do this, and then everything in Matlab, pretty much everything, you need to kind of get an end to complete the cycle. So if you're missing this end, this if gonna be matched with this end, and then this end is gonna be matched with this one, and then you're pretty much screwed. But the program will report some error. So this is kind of an introduction to the if sentence, which is like almost like just as you say English. I mean, if something, then you do something. Then you can also add else. So what if it's smaller than JJ? So you just K, II, JJ. You can say, okay, then I want it to be 0, which could happen. So yeah, let's just kind of ignore, just don't put this semicolon in and see what happened. You can try this, but it's not gonna be very pretty, so just do this. Oh, but you see inside, because I didn't suppress the output, each time this one runs, it'll kind of output the it will output the final final result for me. So basically it outputted about 10 times, and then finally you get something like that. It will not prevent you to getting the results, but it's just a lot messy here. Let me clean that, and then I'll just silence it. So make sure you silence it. That's always a good habit. And then do something like that. Okay, then you got okay like that. Then I'm trying to introduce you to another command. So let's say we don't use if, and then we use something called switch. This is another kind of flow control. So basically, you can switch your code to be run by like adding this switch. Say, depending on the number of II. So basically, you set II as a switch. Then you can add a case. If I equals to 1, then you do this. Okay. If case I equals to 2. Let's say you want to do something like not this one, but you want if it's 2, you want this to be like 100. Then you can just, this is just programming. Case if that's 3, then you let it to be II plus JJ. II, it can go from 1 to 5. But we're not gonna go all the way. We'll just say otherwise, which is kind of matched or dramatically with switch. So any other cases, you have K, I, JJ equals to 0. And then you just end your switch. You can see those kind of lines automatically matched when you've completed your code. The Matlab editor gonna try to format it for you, but I kind of messed up here the format, but that doesn't really matter. I mean, just something that's not that important. So yeah, see. Then I'll Ctrl V it. Okay, now look at our key. You see 100, and then if I is greater than 3, everything's 0. So basically in this class, most of our homeworks will be involving using for and if, and maybe sometimes switch, but switch is not that commonly used. Most of the time it is for and if sentence. If you can get that right, then you pretty much have all the necessary basic elements to do it. Oh, my phone call. Okay, I'll stop it. I'll talk to you later. Thank you.